Hey, what's up? My name is Kaylin Lavina, and this is Mommy Muse podcast. I already know that a ton of people just logged off the moment that I said mommy, but if you're still here, that means we're meant to be here together. I am a actor, director, producer, content creator, influencer, renaissance woman, if you may call it. And I also happen to be a wife and a mommy. I am doing this podcast because I was going through a phase after I gave birth last year. And I think a lot of women can relate to this phase. It's kind of the unknown phase. Sometimes it's the postpartum depression phase. Sometimes it's depending on who you are and what you're feeling, that's what you're going through. And no one can understand it but another mom, maybe. This is really for the moms who are in that season right now, or who've just exited that season and are still recovering from that season, however you want to put it. I wanted to do Mommy Muse podcast because I just felt like I needed a way to speak up and use my voice and convey the things that I was feeling after giving birth. I felt so lost as to who am I now? I used to live in New York for about 8 years. And then after New York, I lived in LA for about a year. And then after that, I was like, I'm ready to go home and be around family during this transition. I mean, mind you, COVID happened, the writer's strike happened, quarantine, all of those things have happened in this time frame. And then I moved back home, I get a job, I deal with some weird things at that job. I get another job. I get pregnant, and then more weird things happen. And then I quit. And then I'm jobless and pregnant. But I do have a husband who was supporting my new soft life era. Thankfully for him. Shout out to him. And I just knew it was time for me to focus on me after almost a decade of hustling and grinding, which leads me to this next topic. It's becoming a mom shouldn't feel like you're in survival mode, but it should feel like the opposite. It should feel like you have a village or someone who treats you softly, who wants to cater to you, who wants to support you through this vulnerable ass time. My whole life, I was built to be strong, to be zoned in on grinding and getting that next opportunity, booking that next gig. And being a Black woman on top of that, you're working 100 times harder because there is zero privilege with that. But when I became a mom, I thought that, I'm soft and vulnerable now. People will treat me soft and vulnerable. Well, I was in for a very fucking rude awakening, okay? When I was working at my last job that I had before becoming a stay-at-home mom, I was treated absolutely, I don't want to say horribly, but there was zero regard for me and my circumstances. There was zero regard for me being pregnant. And it showed in the way that they expected me to get every single thing done. The layers to this, but I don't really want to get into all of that yet. Let's just say I chose me because they weren't. And they're not going to choose you. So I chose myself first. I quit that job. And that's when I was like, it's time to really get to know who I am right now and really enjoy the last couple months of myself before I have this baby. Because after I have this baby, I know shit's about to change. And then it did change. And man, it's you don't want to believe that you're losing a spark. You're like, no, not me. I'm not going to lose my spark. But then it slowly starts to burn you out more and more and more. And it's not because I didn't have the support in my home, but it's because mentally, spiritually, emotionally, I was going through this transition that was meant to happen. I started seeing who was really there for me and who wasn't, who cared about my mental health and who didn't, who cared about my baby's health and who didn't. I started to see certain relationships become less and less of a priority. And I started to see my son as the only priority. And of course, my husband as well, my family. And when you're discovering that, the priorities and like what's really important, not everyone's going to stick around for that. Not every opportunity is going to align with you anymore. And I just feel like that's okay. It's okay for you to change because you became a mom. It's okay. It's okay for you to not be like the rest of the people around you, the rest of your friends, the rest of your family. You have to put you and your family first. You have to, set those boundaries and stand on that. Because who you're becoming in that phase is about to set you up for your future. It's about to set you up for the rest of your life. And I feel like if I didn't go through that phase where I literally had zero idea what the fuck was going on, who am I, what am I good at, what have I accomplished in my life, okay, I wouldn't be at this point where I'm like, you know what, I'm going to make the opportunity by speaking my truth and hoping that some other women out there understand what that truth feels like and connecting with me on this level. So if you are here and you're still watching the Mommy Muse podcast, thank you for watching. I'm so grateful because I just feel like it's going to be a fun journey. And with that being said, I do want to share something because of course, I took notes and I just feel like I have to share them. I love to write as well. Let's add that to the list, writer. And I kind of wrote this because this was like one of the first things that inspired me because I saw a TikTok where this girl was like, yeah, I saw this girl announce her pregnancy and I immediately unfollowed her. And I just thought, like, you're weird because you don't need to announce that, number one. You can quietly unfollow a mom, like, the fuck. But why do you feel compelled to, like, put out such negativity towards mom creators? It's so strange to do that. So that in itself inspired this. There's nothing more bitter than a child hater. You mean to tell me this sweet, pure, innocent, unbothered child has created the feeling of hate within? This has nothing to do with not wanting kids. If you don't want them, you don't want them. Fair. But to hate them is wild. You're walking around yelling to the rooftops and everyone's TikTok For You page that you hate kids. I genuinely believe you may be due for a psychological evaluation. The same type of people who are annoyed by emotionally unregulated children on the airplane are the same types of people who crash out over their Starbucks order being wrong. Who's the real baby? The same types of people who hate kids might hate themselves. And this isn't a call to bully the kid haters, but more so a call to stop normalizing self-hate. Don't hate yourself. Love yourself. If you hate children, you obviously hate mothers. But can you call yourself a supporter of women if you don't support mothers? Shit, can you call yourself a humanitarian if you don't support mothers? Mothers, more often than not, are always there for you. True ride or die. Through their flaws and your flaws. The love of a mother is like no other. From birth, there's a deep connection to our mothers that expects to be nurtured, and when it's not, it can cause long-term effects. #mommy issues. Yet, why does it feel like we depend on mothers to be nurturers, but we as a generation, people, country, etc., don't know how to nurture mothers? Moms are the silent sufferers because they are taught through time and history that it is a privilege to be acknowledged. It is a privilege to not be checked up on. It is a privilege to be checked up on. And it's a privilege to be treated delicately. It's a privilege. It's a privilege for me to be a stay-at-home mom. And I'm aware of that. But it's like, damn, I wish that it was the norm. I wish that a single mother could enjoy life at home for a year before she has to go back into the workforce and face more adversity, more microaggression, more mistreatment, more just stress, and children can feel that stress. And I think that if we want to care more for our moms and our babies, we need to nurture them more. We need to show up for them, not on a conditional level, not on a, oh, you did this for me, so I'm going to do this for you. Just be simply because she put her literal life at risk to birth and bring this child into the world. Is she a painter? Maybe let me bring her an activity to do while I fold some clothes for her and she can paint and breastfeed at the same time. If she wants, I don't know. But are we nurturing moms to continue to be who they are meant to be through that phase? Are we nurturing moms to give themselves grace when they are not able to multitask and do it all at once? Are we giving them that grace when they can no longer come to the friend hangout session or the Kiki session? But are we checking on them? Are we being like, are you good? Is there anything you need? I don't know. And so, all that to say, if you are a supporter of moms, thank you. If you truly understand what it feels like and you do your part to nurture and encourage other moms, thank you. You're so needed in this world, okay? I went through so much shit when I was working at that last job when I was pregnant. I mean, I literally had my boss telling me, like, I don't deserve any special accommodations because I was pregnant, even though I was facing a lot of, like, health red flags, I guess you could say. And I don't see myself as a victim because I'm not a victim, but I see myself as someone who had a shitty experience and I had to change my life around that shitty experience because I wasn't respected as a mom, as a future mom, and as a pregnant woman. And I just think things like that need to change. But anyway, we'll get into that in the next episode. I'm so excited for the future. I'm so excited to meet other women who are feeling what I'm feeling, who are trying to find themselves, and who are just like in that cocoon phase of being a mom and you're ready to emerge. But just remember, you are who you are. You're still that artist. You're still that great chef. You're still that great designer. You're still that great stylist. You're still that great athlete. You are all of those things. And I see you. Thanks for watching Mommy Muse podcast. Until next time.